This is the Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. I really appreciate you joining me today, and this is a follow-up to a story that we covered last year. And don't forget you can donate to going to these crime scenes for Scarcity with cryptocurrency now. We are the only independent news channel that goes to the crime scenes to report independently from the mainstream media to give you the unfiltered view. Thank you to Dave Nathan for attending this scene last year. It was a Halloween party that took place on the 30th, and it turned into a horror scene when a 21-year-old former football coach was stabbed to death in the middle of the street. Giovani Espuet was attending a Halloween party. He didn't have any weapons and he wasn't trying to attack anybody. And he was chased down and repeatedly stabbed by 5 men who have been convicted of their involvement in the fatal stabbing. Detective Inspector Jim Barry from the Crime Command said, "This was a senseless killing that left a family, partner and community grieving. Giovani was pursued for no reason and was repeatedly stabbed because the defendants didn't want to lose face after an argument that took place at the event. They made the decision to take a knife to the party, and Giovani would be alive, the police said, if they hadn't have done this, and these men would not be facing life in prison if it wasn't for everything that had occurred." The court heard that on the 30th of October 2022, Giovani had gone with 2 friends to a Halloween party at a bar on Harrow Road in Sudbury. In the early hours of the same day, a dispute broke out and it spilled into the street and punches were thrown. The event then turned deadly, when at least 2 of the defendants produced a knife. Defendant called Hibbert lunged towards Giovani with a weapon, and Giovani ran away, but he was pursued by the group and was then repeatedly stabbed. There was an ambulance crew coincidentally in traffic nearby when Giovani was stabbed again while they were trying to attend to him. They could not save his life and he died at the scene. A post-mortem examination found that Giovani had been stabbed 11 times with a non-survivable wound to the heart. The stab wounds were predominantly to his back and appear to have been inflicted while he was on the floor. The killers fled the scene, leaving behind a hat, and this was linked to Courtney Forrester. Specialist crime homicide investigators began the investigation, and all of the defendants were arrested in the following weeks. All of them refused to answer any questions, and they produced prepared statements denying any involvement in the case. However, all of them were charged. Kadeem Hibbert, 30 years old, from Wood Green, was found guilty of murder and violent disorder. Bruce Hutchinson from Wood Green was found guilty of violent disorder, but not guilty of murder and manslaughter. Andre Brown Watson was found guilty of violent disorder and not murder or manslaughter. And Saheed Packer was found guilty of murder, and he previously pled guilty to violent disorder. Courtney Forrester was found guilty of manslaughter, and he pleaded guilty to violent disorder at an earlier date. They will be sentenced in due course. So due to the fact they never revealed the motive as to why this happened, I guess a part of this will always stay a mystery. But at the same time, I doubt it was ever worth what had occurred and what had broken out. Giovani had just been an aspiring footballer, and he went on to be a coach later on. And as his family said, he'll be missed by many people. So I want to send my condolences to Giovani, and please pay respects in the comments. Now we start a new month, it's March the 1st. And these are the stories that have occurred in February. And this big story come from the 17th of February, where a 17-year-old was stabbed to death on Hackney Road near the junction of Cremer Street. Officers in the London Ambulance Service attended the scene and found a 17-year-old male suffering stab wounds. Despite their best efforts, he sadly died at the scene. His family have been informed and will be supported by specially trained police. Detective Chief Superintendent James Conway, who led the investigation, said, "My thoughts with the family of the young person that has lost his life, and I can assure them we will do our best to seek out whoever was involved and responsible for his murder." Cordons were in place across Hackney Road, and thank you to Dave Nathan again for his coverage from the scene, and which shows the cordon in place and the forensic officers that are working. On Monday the 19th of February, a 17-year-old teenager was arrested in connection with the murder and remained in police custody. So I want to send my condolences to the family of that young man that is yet to be named, and will definitely keep you updated on anything to do with that story.
excuse me.